Well, hey, good morning, everybody. It's Guido. We are here with Coffee Talk. I'm on the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's Pilgrim on the correct side of the Atlantic with his cup of tea and chilling again. I get paid for every time this comes
That's
up.
right. Buy mugs. Buy hundreds of them.
By lots.
Thousands of mugs. Build a wall. A wall
Build a
of
wall
mugs.
of mugs.
Build
No,
a
let's
wall
not
of
talk walls.
No,
Turn
yeah.
Pilgrim up because you can't hear him.
What?
Yeah, look, Banzo's
Okay.
in. Turn up Pilgrim.
He's messing with me. He has to be messing with me.
Stickler's saying no.
Oh, my gosh. Hold on, let me try to... All right. No, don't.
We should have a vote. I'll probably lose. But
That should be a lot louder because now it's blasting my ears out. Why would it change? I haven't touched anything.
No.
Oh, stickler.
Oh, yeah, look.
All right, I'm turning them off.
Yeah.
Today will be Pilgrim pantomiming everything.
Yeah.
So if you can tell what he's saying, he sounds muffled. Boy, we can't get this right, can we? What did I say? What did I say before we started?
Well, you said we were ready to roll.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Kedge is in the house.
Exactly.
Bats is in the house. Stickler's in the house. Look at this lot. Cliffy!
Cliffy makes a good point. It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, exactly. It's a feature. And Bats says we both sound okay. So it's only on the colonial side that you're all failing. Us on the correct side of the Atlantic are getting it right.
I think some of the regulars. I think that some of the regulars have now made a game of it.
I think they have.
Yeah. Now we're just flailing. I just spilled coffee on my.
Do you know what? I just did that with my teapot. I poured it too vigorously, and it spewed out the top of the pot. Isn't it funny how things? Yeah, it's a nightmare. Isn't it?
Come on, good. There we go. Yeah, nicely done. All right.
Cool.
Nuckies.
I didn't leave you hanging, did I? I didn't leave you hanging.
Nuckies across the Atlantic for sure. Well, welcome everybody. We are eventually gonna talk about some tanks and some other things. You guys will notice that Bats Fam Gaming is in the house. Now let me see if this is gonna work. I don't actually remember what I just called Bats. I thought. Come on. Did I not do it yet? Dadgummit. I did not do it yet. Bats Fam Gaming is the streamer that is helping to support Michael, the 3-year-old, who has leukemia, which is about the biggest bummer I can think of. But fighting bravely.
Yep.
And they have a GoFundMe page out there, so they've got some people helping them. But if you feel so compelled, I'm sure that they would love to get a donation. So that should be coming up. I've got. Looks like they've only done check out, stack up. Yeah, just watch along the chat. You're going to see that link come up.
Can I make a quick point on that? And Bats Fam's going to kill me for this, but Bats Fam actually donated a car to the family so they could get to the hospital and back without having to pay all the exorbitant costs. I mean, that's out of this world, man. He just donated one of his cars.
That is fantastic.
To the family. What a star. Thanks. Anyway, Wayne's in the house.
Tanks. I don't know. Is that what we're here for?
Well, maybe that and a little bit of culture. So we'll go with that.
Let me. I don't remember. We will get that URL, Wayne. I think it's going to show up because I've got it on a timer. So give it a few minutes and it should come through. No problem. I would have Bats put it up there, but I've actually turned off links for everybody, so I don't have somebody come in and. I've heard some horror stories from other streamers. This community does not tend to have that issue, but you never know. Somebody may show up and start spamming links to people who are making tea with loose leaf tea or something like that.
No, with bags. Loose leaf tea is correct. With people who put tea bags and call it tea, it's just dust off the factory floor.
What I'm saying though is they just take that cup and a handful of loose leaf and they just.
Oh, like you did, you mean?
Yeah.
When you showed me how you made tea. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You've heard of this? You've heard of the Salt Bay? I'm the Tea Bay. I just tea right in there. I haven't had a
I
night.
had to send you an education video, didn't I?
You did, yeah. That was the damnedest thing I'd ever seen. I don't know how long it was, but it was very complicated making that tea.
How can a guy stroke tea? But he
Yeah.
made it seem almost sexual, didn't he? He was like that with the
Yeah,
tea.
oh yeah, yeah. There's the link, guys. The link just
cool.
came up, so click on there's the GoFundMe link right there. That'll take you exactly to the place you want to be. All right, cool, man. Let's
Do tanks.
do tanks. So, what is going on the channel? I streamed a lot last week. That was nice. Thanks for all the support, guys. I got a number of subscribers. I think we had a lot of fun, so that was fantastic. 100 battle challenges ongoing. I did finish the 50 TP PR. Ended up with about 62% on that thing. And moving on to the... What's that? Oh, you said nice.
Nice.
The
Nice.
122 TM I finished. You guys, there's 3 videos out reviewing the 122 TM, which seems a little bit like overkill, but the purpose of all that was I just feel like I'm just an inveterate eye poker.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You are.
And it's not direct, but I'm doing it because I keep every time something comes out, you get all this hyperventilating kind of content on it. And on this tank, people are like, "It's terrible," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's not. It's actually kind of good."
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's amazing, but it's kind of good. And so I basically did 3 videos going through the whole process of this. Here's the preview of what the numbers look like. My thoughts. Here's after playing 20 battles. Here's after playing 100 battles. And pretty much tooting my own horn. What I thought about the tank was correct from start to finish. Now I'm perfectly happy to be wrong, and I'll change my opinion on that if I end up being wrong. But the background piece of this, which you may or may not care about, is on the CC channel. You get all the CCs getting in there saying it's this, it's that, it's the other, and these are some very opinionated folk, as you might guess. Which good on them. They're fans of the game, and a lot of them are extremely skilled. But it gets a little silly sometimes. You just get.
Yeah.
I probably get into dangerous territory. Nerd rage is funny.
Well, isn't it just? Now, I mean, I'll refer people to the Manticore. I don't know, it's your pet. But when that first came out, it was absolutely dragged through the mud. And yet, you gave a considered viewpoint on it. You actually went out and played it, which I think a lot of the people making noises didn't actually play it. And played it to its strengths, and actually it proved a point. It actually works most of the time. It works given the playstyle. So adapt your playstyle to how the tank fits into the game, rather than just go, the stats are rubbish, it's a crap tank.
Right.
And
I guess at the end of the day, one of the biggest problems is when they don't, not they CCs, they anyone, the community, whoever, players, when they don't admit that maybe they were wrong about it. Like they will,
absolutely.
And it's a standard human response to stuff
to
start rationalizing. If your sacred cow is not standing correctly in the pasture, then you rationalize why your sacred cow is not standing correctly in the pasture. And it has nothing to do with your opinion or the sacred cow. It has everything to do with other external things that cause the cow to not stand correctly in your pasture. And it becomes this mental gymnastics thing that and it is amazing, and you see it everywhere in life. Just it's amazing the mental gymnastics people will go around to explain away whatever doesn't fit their view of it. It's crazy.
There is a responsibility, though, I think. Some of the people who have big reach. I'm not saying CCs, just some people who have a big reach, form an opinion, put it out there. People pick up on that as the truth, and they act upon that. So there's a responsibility, if you're going to put anything out there to a large group of people that could influence something, get it right. Get it. Don't just or state categorically this is just a personal opinion.
Yeah, and leave the door open if
I mean?
you're honest with yourself. Sutek's got it.
Yeah.
The issue arises because
Sutek,
personal opinions can be misrepresented as the objective truth.
Yeah.
And worse, at least in my opinion, then internalized as the objective truth with the shield of impenetrability that comes up, and no external facts or information shall penetrate. You know. Yeah, yeah.
I did. I stole Sutek's line there, didn't I? Sorry, mate.
Oh, were
I
you?
had a quick read and went, I'll pick up on that point.
Well, you try. Oh, yeah, I like it. I like it. See, I didn't catch that, and then I kind of called you out because I'm like, oh,
Talk about
here's what
talk about
Sutek.
stream sniping. I'm good at this, aren't I?
Is chat sniping a thing? Maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's
Sutek just Sutek keep putting out some really good stuff, and we'll just
I'll
we'll
pick up
just
on it before it's
it.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's funny. All right, so anyway, that was a lot about why I did 3 videos. One of the reasons why I did 3 videos. Plus, I just enjoyed the tank. To be quite honest, frankly, I enjoyed the tank, and I thought, well, here's some information, guys. I mean, you're in the middle of a marathon. You're trying to decide whether you want to pick it up. I stay away from it categorical. It's worth it or not worth it. I'll tell you if it's worth it to me or not. Going back to the your opinion. Everyone's got one, and it smells exactly like the other thing everyone's got. It stinks. But you know what I mean.
I use pure economics or pilgrinomics, if you like.
Oh, good Lord! So you have 4 of them then?
I've got 4 of them. All at 12% discount, which you can't get.
How many times did you have to sell and resell before you got?
Yeah, no, I can sell them when they become full price again. So I got them at discount, and now I can sell them.
You're not behind the Wall Street bets guys and the GameStop thing, are you?
It has been known. There is the word of pilgrim back there. Oh dear. Is there an Aussie in the house?
I don't know. I don't see
Loblo.
No, I don't see Loblo.
There was another Aussie. He had a friend, didn't he? He had a friend.
Oh, right. Somebody did mention that. Yeah.
Sutek.
The Sutek is it Aussie?
Yeah. Sutek here for you. Because we have Old Glory and the Maple Leaf. For you, Sutek. There you go.
Oh, fun with flags.
Enjoy.
Fun with flags. Fantastic, man. Grandpa 5757, man. What's happening? Yeah, the M44. Yeah. If you're gonna play a good arty, that's one of them to play. That's for dang sure. I know a lot of people like the 13F3 too. It's kind of a M44 ish.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah. That's the 122. Next stream.
Where were we?
I think I'll be streaming on Monday tomorrow, guys. There will be this stack up stream in the afternoon. Tomorrow, probably from 9 to 12 would be. I'm going to skew it earlier. I was doing 9 to 12 quite a bit, but if I shift it back a little bit, I catch some of the EU folks getting off of work, so that actually ups my view. Now, if I could do it further in the evening on NA, we're averaging. We're getting into the 40 to 50 people.
That's good.
I mean, I don't think I've got the time to stream enough to get to the 75 for partner. That's one of those things, the min is 75 to be a partner, but you really want to be well north of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People get excited. Oh, I made partner. I'm just averaging 75. I'm like, well, you got to keep averaging 75, and ideally you want more than that. Yeah. But this has been more of a hobby kind of thing. So, but still, fantastic, man. Lots of people. Great chat, people having a good time, so I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's great to connect to people, isn't it? And we connect via this coffee talk. For me, the technology behind it is the fascinating thing and the interesting meeting everybody that I would never ever meet in the normal scope of things. We can talk across the Atlantic and across the world if there's other people from other countries involved. And yet, you would probably, in a million years, never meet half these people. And yet, I consider them great fun. Everybody who interacts is great fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Let's see. I think that was it. Something was actually in my brain. It just gone. Right.
Well, you were streaming. You're streaming Stack Up. Can I just say on Stack Up, there was a question made earlier on. I think it was Stickler, saying, "Can he donate if things say pounds and not dollars?" The other vice versa, I did Stack Up and it comes up in dollars, but it's fine because when the banks do the conversion rate, they'll take the money at whatever the conversion rate is on the day. So if you donate, for example, $10, it'll, or it works out as £6 sterling or something. Whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, you can absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Going international. Heisenberg. I hadn't considered that. It's a good point. Once we get the tank tops, Pilgrim, we're in. It's going to happen.
Yes, it's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, I'm just going to leave that. I don't want. I just don't even. I just don't even. Let's go to missions and specials. Let's go. Missions and specials. All right.
Yeah. Number 1, coffee talk.
Number 1. Oh, I remember what it was I wanted to talk about. Mine's a French roast. What do you got?
Oh, I've got Royal Blend, of course.
Royal
Her Majesty's been under the cosh a bit lately.
Yeah.
So, in honour, I've had to up my tea drinking.
Do you think it's because Harry and Meghan are such a couple little gits?
Yep. Her
brain has to be exploding right now.
Yeah, she's not happy lady. I mean, she made that decision. She's a hard woman if she has to be. Right, let's get slightly serious here. Her life has been dedicated to this country. She sees duty as the number 1 reason for her to be on this earth.
Right.
Family comes second. Duty is first.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always taken that attitude from the age of 16, 17 when she joined the Women's Royal Army Corps and all that sort of stuff, and she drove trucks in the war and everything. So she cannot fathom this thing about Harry wants to do service but not be part of the royal family. Well, that's his business. If you want to go and do service, go and do it, mate. And I've got lots of respect for him. He served in Afghan. He was a pilot, etc., etc. Love him to bits, but he is a fool. He's been led by the nose by the woman he loves, like we all are, but down the wrong roads. But that's their business, not mine. There you go. Spout over.
I think we just found something that Pilgrim is very passionate about. I like it, man. I like it.
I will stand up for Her Majesty day in, day out.
I can't disagree with that assessment of the situation. I only apologize that it's my countryman that's caused the issue.
It wouldn't matter. No, it wouldn't matter the countryman. It's just Harry is basically in Britain. We've got this saying: he's got his cock on his head. So there you go. Yes,
I think to be fair, he's always been kind of that guy. The second kid is at least in the royal families. The second kid always seems to be not always, but often seems to be kind of that bit of the wild card because they know they're not the one that's in the line.
Well, that's it. They're not getting the big job, are they? They're getting polish the boots of the big job, aren't they?
So they're looking for the way, and I think those two tried to kind of make it try to make it a new way, but the Queen was like, "No, I'm still here. There's no new way."
Yeah, exactly. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah.
Cliffy, we didn't fight a war not to worry about this. Listen, buddy, it comes back to you full circle. You think you are independent, but you're not really, because like every war we've been involved in, we've dragged your asses into it, so behave yourself.
Yeah, and vice versa. All right.
Yeah.
We don't want to jump ahead. Missions and specials.
Yeah.
We have a new Twitch package out called The Big Catch. Make sure you go grab that. Got to link your accounts, all that good stuff. It's actually not bad. There's no commander, unfortunately. And I bet there's not a commander until maybe. I'm sort of guessing there's not going to be a commander. There will not be a commander with the Twitch stuff until they redo the commander system or the cruise system. But I could be wrong. Maybe
that sort of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's disappeared this month for whatever reason. What they replaced it with, they are giving you 10 kits of each kind, which is kind of whatever. There's a day of premium and a few other things in there. You can get some ×5s, which are nice if you're grinding. Remember, I think it's the ×5s and whatever the other thing was, you have to go into, I think, the depot to get it. Just look at the top. You can see it up here. Well, you can't see it right now because I have the Chrome up, but where it's highlighted up here with the little red circles, and I don't remember if it was the store or depot, but once you grab that, find the one with the little circle on it and follow your nose, and you'll figure it out. But there's another little section in there to pick the ×5 or whatever the hell the other thing is. I can't remember.
Yeah, doesn't it come up separate on the drop-down menu thing on the left? Does it?
It may. Yeah, there's probably a button there too. I think there's a button there too for you to select it. So make sure you grab the one. The times fives are fantastic if you're grinding, guys.
Yeah.
It can't go wrong. Remember that what happens with those, you have to do your daily double, triple, whatever it is, and then the next time you play that tank, you get the times five. So be careful, because if you're grinding tank A and you play tank B 3 or 4 times in a row, you've used your times fives on the other tank. So the only time you don't do that,
which is frustrating.
Yeah. The only time you don't do that is if the times fives are for a specific tank. And you'll find all your time, we can show you later, but you find all your times fives way down the bottom in the UI in the missions tab, under other or additional or whatever it's called down there.
It's not like they want you to know, really, is it, Wargaming? They're like, let's hide that, quick, let's hide it.
Well, their missions UI is a disaster, but that's subject for later, I guess.
Hedge, if you saw me out at Serene Coast yesterday, you were very lucky, because I didn't play an awful lot yesterday, but yeah, I was trying to do the grind for that TM, but there we go. Sorry, Guido, I didn't mean to butt in.
Did he win? Who won?
I know I had a miserable day yesterday. I had 6 out of 9, I think, 6 wins in 9. Yeah, I wasn't in my E25, we'll come on to that.
You mean 6 wins and 9 losses?
No, I had 9 games. I only did 9 games. I got 6 wins out of it, and I thought, that's enough.
Oh, that's a good day. Nothing wrong with that. 6 and 3.
I was going for the 100% record, and it never worked.
Oh. Just
I failed miserably.
Each day, play once, and if you win, quit.
Yes, I know. How to get your stats skyrocketing? Just play once a day. If you win, there you go. Move on.
Or you can be like the fella that I met yesterday. Actually, let me just show you guys this. This is fantastic. Where is this? There he is. This guy. See what he called me? I'm not going to say it on the air.
Oh, seriously?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say it on the line. That's the whole thing, by the way, guys. That's not. That's it. And
really?
Yeah, it was on Redshire. I was actually in this thing, because one of the tanks I'm taking out to 100 is the 274 Alpha, which, by the way, guys, is a fantastic medium. So I go to the blimp, win that flank, help the guys push in, kill off the heavies with my medium, and we've lost the castle side.
Medium, yeah.
We've lost the castle side, so I go all the way to the south and all the way across, but I can't push in because we have a barrage spotting. They have a good portion of the map now. They're in kind of that middle part. They've won the castle. I'm trying. I get a shot on RHM. We can't quite kill them. The poor Barras gets hit by an ISU 152K, and then next I'm sitting kind of in one of those little rolling hills on the southwest corner of it. I'm in the smallest bush known to man, trying to hide my big fat medium in there. And then I'm kind of watching. All of a sudden, I see my camera goes cuckoo. I'm like,
oh,
and I'm like, that's weird. And then it's like, and then I'm like, oh shit. So
no, seriously.
Yeah, I zoom out and turn around, and he's in a Canon Panzer 105 or whatever, the fast casemate German one, and he's ramming into me. I said, I typed in, oh look, I've made a friend, and he does that a couple more times and wanders away. We lose.
Right.
What do you think shows up in
there
my?
You go.
Yeah.
So this is a great segue, because I remember we spoke about, just as a tangent now, if you don't mind, but we spoke about brains of a rocking horse and how that tickled you.
Yeah.
Well, I got another one here. You have to use this quote in game, and I think it's quite funny, but it might not be to others. What contribution did he make to the human genome? I think nothing whatsoever.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing.
A slight step backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's before Neanderthal.
Yeah. So usually when I get these love notes, somebody mentioned that. Yep, it was a love note in this case. I look at their stats and where are they coming from? What's the deal here? And I'm like, oh wow, 61%. Well, he's a good player. Probably just irritated I wasn't playing very well or something, Or maybe that's why I said watch the replay. I'm like, just watch the replay because you're a good player. That's after I looked at this and I typed that, because I went there, won the flank, and I had to go to the other side. It's the two guys who were with me who pushed died. They go down to that little river bottom and they push up into camping TDs, and it's a big mystery what's going to happen.
Yeah. And then, that is never going to happen, is it?
And this sounds like me making excuses, but what? Andy, who cares? So I'm like 61%. Holy cow! And then I do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Tier 5, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 4, Tier 5, Tier 2.
Yeah.
4, 5. Oh, a 6 in Artie. 5, 5, 5.
6 in Artie. Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, well maybe he's good
Brilliant,
at.
isn't it?
Then I go, maybe he's good at high tiers. No, he's got exactly one Tier 8, and he's 48% in it. And that's the one he was ramming me with.
Yeah, he's like, go and swap so I can
dude.
get some damage. That's what he wanted you to do. Go away and swap.
That is exactly right. Yep. And it
No,
all
no
made
way.
sense to me at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. It all comes to mind, doesn't it?
Yep. Anyway.
As I suspected.
That was all
Absolutely.
self-serving on my part. Aren't I I am now the hero. He's the bad guy.
Of course. Nothing wrong with that. Do you think he's watching this?
No.
If he is, good on you, mate. Well done.
Well, Warchild says he's kind of a known Russian troll, and he's actually had run-ins with the guy. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fine then. Yeah.
Yeah,
you keep playing the SA server, buddy. You're doing well down there. With all the bots.
Oh, yeah. What we've talked about this before. That particular word and words like it.
Yeah.
Who gets insulted by that? Do you know who gets insulted by those words? People who use them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's this small subset of humanity right now in the Western
Well, it's
world.
the non-human genome additions, isn't it?
That is such a small subset these days of especially in the West. Maybe this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't offend me. It doesn't particularly offend me that he uses it. I don't use it. I think he's a clown.
Yeah.
So I'm not offended on either level of that, especially not as an insult to me. And if they like to go on,
funny.
if they like to go on, I flip the script and I act exactly like what they're calling me in their mind, right? The way they think it is.
Yeah.
You know, and that shuts them down. And they usually go away pretty quick.
Yeah. We've had this conversation before.
We
I've
have.
actually given the people the opportunity. I would pay their airfare. They could fly to London and meet me and say it to my face. But nobody's taken me up on the offer yet.
Yeah. I usually don't get into that. I just if they want to get weird, that I can get way weirder than they can. But precisely
we've heard about that.
because I don't care. It's
Exactly.
not an insult to me. If you want to be an idiot, I can act the fool as well, more than you can, frankly. And usually these people are not that bright to begin with.
No.
You know, like you said, the Cro-Magnon gene has come out. The Neanderthals did not completely go away. They're clearly
There's a surviving line.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
surviving line that just keeps going through the human race.
Yeah. Okay, I probably just insulted Neanderthals. Apparently, new science says they're actually pretty intelligent. And
Yeah, to be fair, they did exist and last for quite some time, didn't they?
I think we all have a little bit of Neanderthal. They got a little busy in there. They weren't all completely.
I guess there was cross species.
Yeah.
I say it now. Cross species.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
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 Today on
Sparky's in the house. Hey,
today on
Sparky.
Homo sapien and Neanderthal sex talk.
Yep, the number one Neanderthal and Homo sapien sex talk channel in the world. Metal Over Madness. Good morning to you, sir.
Oh my gosh, let's move on. Oh my gosh. Okay, what were we on? Mission specials. 122. How are you doing? What'd you get to?
Right, I'm probably not going to get past 40%. I hit 40% last night because I just didn't do the grind, and then that for me doesn't discount it enough for me to want to spend money on a medium, as good as it is.
Yeah.
It upwards of $60. Still a lot of money for a medium. Although,
It is,
as
yeah,
I said
yeah.
before, there's a package that goes with it, so I don't know. I probably will buy it though, because I can't do without it. You know me.
Cliffy says he has caveman DNA. That's funny. All right.
23 of me.
Okay, yeah, I got to probably 60%. I mean, obviously, I don't have to use it because the Wargaming gave it to me to do the content stuff. Let us know what you got down there, guys. So, are you going to buy it? What did you get to? What was your rationale? Like, what was the goal? What would you pay for it? All that good stuff.
Yeah, Auto's got 60%. Good on you, mate. 70% metal over. Cool.
Nice. Commander AF's code is ILOWEYOU. ILOWEYOU. ILURVAU. That's a 3-day rental for the Lurva and 5 times 200 XP PRs. Get that code, play the low, and if you could do me a favor and lower the expectations on it, then I'll play it once and see if I can.
So you can 3-mark it.
See if I can get it to 3-mark.
Well, I've just bought it about 3 weeks ago. I haven't played it yet, so I'll start playing it for you now. Because I'll definitely lower it. I'll definitely lower it right down.
I've been to 94 point something on that probably 3 times.
So
yeah, that and the Type 59 have been my kryptonite on that, which is why I don't really try to 3-mark stuff. It's just too frustrating for me.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not good enough. So either way. Times 2 crew XP weekend, my friends.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Good for the crew. We got some crew XP PRs you can get. You can get some shell tokens. We'll talk about those things in a minute, or things like that. We've got an emblem hog. Okay, and then the grand prize are some more personal reserves, and those are always good. So that's going on. And that's pretty much it for missions and specials. There's really nothing else to report other than the U100 is on track. That's a good line.
It's now, it is now. I mean,
Yeah.
they buffed all the armor of that line, haven't they?
So that thing's pretty good. Yeah, I've been having trouble penning the. We talked about it a bit online or on stream.
Yeah.
I was having an issue penning the front of the turret of a Tiger II, and it's 245 now. That's quite a bit actually, and the E75 is even more.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is now playable, whereas the German heavies were starting to get to a point where they were almost non-playable because it was almost like cardboard armor. But now I can go back, I can side scrape. A E75, as somebody was mentioning earlier on, they saw me in it. I actually played 5 or 6 games in that because I enjoyed it. I was really enjoying it because it makes a difference. Because you just weren't getting killed so quickly. I mean, I still got killed because I'm pilgrim, but not as quickly.
It's delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, it was quite well. It's nice to survive to 2/3 of the battle instead of being killed in the first third.
9% of Stickler's DNA is British and Irish. That's the same thing, right, Pilgrim?
Yes, apparently so. Yes, Irish definitely. Oh gosh, I'm going to be in trouble with your house, Cheryl, now. But yeah, we'll go with British because it's Celtic. All right.
Heisenberg has been slaughtering Lurvas this morning.
Yeah, look at that.
20 to 30. Yeah, just wiping them out with his TS5. That's a good one to take them on with.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, 91%. Oh, wow. Stickler's definitely majority British.
Have you got very thick black eyebrows? Have you got a sort of like a sloping forehead?
and a penchant for whiskey.
Yeah. Oh dear, stop it now.
All right. Well, Watt Salute's ongoing. We know that. Multipliers for the E1. That's the Chiha. So I guess, is it the STB? I think that's also... No, it's the TD line for the Chinese. Wait, what Chiha? Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Isn't that a Chinese or a Japanese tank, the Chiha?
I thought it was.
Is one of the starting tanks for Chinese actually a Japanese tank? I never noticed that. That's Japanese. If I had a brain, I'd click on Chinese. It is. Huh. They must have.
I did not know that.
Well, I'm imagining some of the leftover Japanese tanks were picked up or captured or whatever.
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, either by the communist forces or by the nationalists, depending on which one they're sort of modeling it after. That's interesting, because there's the Stuart. We knew that. Then there's some Russian tanks, which that makes sense, because that's copies and whatnot. All right. That's cool. What else we got going on missions? WZ. Big Catch Collection is the Prime Gaming thing. That's what's going on here. Yeah. And you get some various kits and things and some missions going on, and you've got all the way to March 18th, so that's a good amount of time. There's the multipliers. This one is for the E75. Oh, sorry, E100. Medium tank courses, tank destroyer, light tank, blah, blah, blah. That's the codes, which you should have put in. If you have not, you need to go grab those off the website. Ad Victoriam. This one goes to February 27th, which is actually coming close. Guys, you have about a week to finish this up. And we figured this out last week when you guys gave me the good essay. I'll give everyone the essay once again. Remember, this last one is the Rhinoceronte or the Bisonte, and that is it. That's all that you can do. So you can see I need to damage 3 more vehicles so I can grab my Testudo formation style.
Yeah, you quite like the Roman customizations, don't you?
I like Roman stuff, man. I am into Roman history. I wouldn't say I'm any kind of expert, and it's not like I search out constantly. But if there's something about Rome, like in the news, or I find something on the web, I'll go over it, read it, take a look at it. I just love it. I think it's cool. My mom teaches Latin.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah,
what an amazing language, which is it's like the bedrock of 2/3 of the languages in the world is Latin. Absolutely amazing language.
Yeah, she got her degree, a teaching degree.
Hail Guido!
Yeah, she got her teaching degree in Latin. So yeah, anything Roman is I'm kind of interested
on a tangent. Here's a tangent. You've walked the walls at Chester, the Roman walls, haven't you?
Yeah.
We've said this before on stream, but I'm going to repeat myself because I'm old.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to repeat myself. But if you took your socks and shoes off and walked on those walls, you'd be walking on exactly the same stone as a Roman soldier walked 2,000 years ago. How mind-blowing is that? You know.
I think if you were barefoot on the walls, you would be more like a Welshman who was trying to slip over the walls and steal something.
Yeah. Hello, Yaki Da, where's my shoes?
Well, you left them.
What is free on PC, Bats?
Free on PC. Yeah. It's free to play. You're going to get a lot of opinions about that. We might talk a little bit about that later because I've been playing my EU account a little bit. Yesterday specifically, man, it's painful free to play.
Isn't it just? I've not got past tier. I've got tier 9 now. I've only just got past tier 9 on free to play, and I've been doing it about 18 months now. So you can see how crap I am.
Bats, is it pay to win? Well, you're going to get a lot of opinions on that. It's pay to advance, in my opinion. Yeah. Which can equate to winning, because if you get the equipment and the things you need, you can do that faster with premium. Yeah. But there's nothing really other than buying overpowered premium tanks, which I think is probably verging, if not in the realm of pay to win. That's probably true, because there's a couple premium tanks that are just really good. So there is always, you still need a little bit of skill to be able to progress. Even though you might have an op tank, you can op tank and YOLO into death if you haven't got any skill. But you're right, if you just played the normal game and you've got a couple of the op premium tanks, then you can progress quite quickly. So yeah. So I would agree with Sutek. It is more pay for advantage, and the advantage isn't necessarily winning, because you still have to play the game right. The only thing really keeping the OP tier 8 premiums from being pay to win is the tiering system.
Yeah.
It hides the sins of the overpowered tanks, because they often see 9s and 10s that can handle them. If they only ever played 8s and lower, or let's just even say just 8s, you would see a much wider gap between the overpowered tanks and the tech tree variants and things like that, and the crappy premium tanks, which is an interesting thing, because there are crappy premium tanks as well, which you can pay for.
Isn't it just?
So, it's very interesting that way. Artillery bugs, how are you, man? Played it 7 years, it's free, but pay to play makes it correct. So pay for advantage is one way to say it. I think you got pay to advance, pay for advantage, and pay to win. People who want to say it's not pay to win, but they realize, like us, I think a lot of us, that you're getting something out of paying, are probably in that middle pay for advantage kind of slot. Like, it's skewing to pay to win, but you still have to be decent at the game, and the tiering system covers up for a lot of the sins of overpowered stuff. Yeah. PS5, he has the T22 Proto, and the shells feel like... Paying for a bigger engine in your car won't make you a better driver, but you can die. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yep. All right. Light tank, we talked about that. Avitorium, there's the on track. Commander AF's mission is for some Ace of Hearts decals. Are they decals or are they... what are they?
Or decals, I don't know.
It doesn't say what it is. What is it? A decal. It is a decal. Decal Ace of Hearts.
It is a decal.
Crew Experience Weekend, here it is. So there are some goodies here that you want to crank through. Watt Salute is for the veterans. There's the heavy tank courses, because why would they be attached to the rest of them? Carnival 2021 is finishing up today, guys. So if you are trying to get these Carnival things, remember you had to pick the side you want. So if you don't have this one, you probably haven't picked your side. So you need to go back to the web page and find the Carnival advertisement and click on the clicky.
Yeah, I just picked it this morning, far too late. I just seen it this morning, I picked it, and I've got nothing.
Oh,
I'll
no.
get nothing.
Oh, no.
How ahead of the curve am I? I'm like, oh.
Wait a minute, Cliffy. Is that true? You could pick both?
And you?
Was-
Oh, I might actually get something then if I click both.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, wow.
So I want that was that a bug or a feature? I wonder. You know what's so? This is another subject about gamers. Before I get on that, let me just tell everyone that other missions are right here, and this is where the ×5s and things live. What is this thing? Small. Okay, that was something else. Okay. This is something that always fascinates me about gamers. You know, when you put something out like that on your website, somebody's going to go, "Ooh, I wonder what happens if I click both."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind. I like the rule follower Guido's like, "Yeah, okay, you pick your side and off you go. Get the hell out. You're done."
Yeah.
And someone else went, "Well, the button's still there. What happens if I click both?"
Yeah.
You know, then they go into the mission. They're like, "Well, it appears I get both."
Yeah. Yeah, I just think, yeah, it is the gaming community is one of the few communities that actually do that. They question everything and they try everything.
Yeah. So
Which is why, you know, when Lara Croft came out and everything, within a week of Lara Croft Tomb Raider coming out, the hacks and the cheats were worldwide. There was like everybody, oh, you do this with the Xbox buttons and this is what happens. He does a backflip and you get all the weapons in the game.
Yep.
You know.
Now,
Because gamers just go, do you know what? There's got to be a way around this.
yeah, so when you're a game company and you release a game, people start figuring stuff out that you never realized was in your game as far as things that could be done. You watch the speedrun videos if you're interested in game design and all that kind of stuff. And watch what they'll do is they'll put the game designers and coders and stuff and a couple people, you know, who put the game together, and they'll watch some guy or gal who's figured this out. And it's hilarious, their reactions, because they'll do these speed runs through these games that they've created all these, you know, checkpoints. You got to do this, you got to do that, and there's a way, you know, the story has all been crafted, and you know, and 5 minutes later they've made it to the end of it, and they're like,
Hey? You spent 2 years developing this.
Yeah, I was watching one of them. I don't remember what the game was, but the guy was jumping in this weird way to get into this area that normally you have to do all these different checkpoints and stuff to get to. And the guy's like,
Yeah.
how the hell did he do that?
But there's also the official, if you like, backdoors into the game.
They do build those in, yeah.
Yeah, they build them in because they need to skip levels to see if it works, you know, and they do the whole game in 5 minutes, the developers and everything. So if you know that as well.
I think sometimes they design stuff like that in there just to see if people can find it. There are Easter eggs and stuff. So it's a combination of all that kind of thing. All right, here we go. So I picked day team, I think. So I'm going to click on the night team and see what happens here.
All right.
Unless they turned it off. Or
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, bad news.
Or maybe, is it over and I can't pick? Was I too late to pick? I
Oh,
bet.
it might be. Is there a time? Is there a time? I know there's a date. Is there a time on the date?
Yeah, they must have found out. So the early adopters got both styles. I would
There you
imagine.
go.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Is there
That's not fair. We need to raise this in the forums. That's not fair now. We should all get both styles now.
Yeah, Kedge says they turned it off. That is funny.
Perhaps we were watching this stream and somebody went, "Oh, quick! Flick the button, quick!"
So Cliffy brings up another thing that I keep seeing. When somebody finds this stuff, they tend to go look at me and throw it on the forum, and it just ruins it for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, because Wargaming goes, "Oh crap," and then they fix it.
No, they fix
like,
it. Yeah.
It's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, don't tell him. Just PM people quietly. Just come on Guido's stream and tell him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious though. You know, once you release a game into the wild, this is something
we've said this before.
Yeah, it's something that I do on my channel when I do my reviews and stuff. I'm not that interested in the test servers. I'm certainly not going to take balance advice or possibilities from a test server. You can get a general idea of how something works, but if you're making definitive judgments about how something's going to affect the pub game from a test server, I just think you're barking up the wrong tree.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
You know, you have to understand what a test server is really good for. Now, it's what they have, right? It's not like there's anything better necessarily. So you can look at it and go, all right, this tank looks a little overpowered, a little underpowered. But as far as how something new is going to affect the meta of the game, that's going to take months to figure out. And players will do things that will surprise you with the stuff you put in your game.
Yeah.
You know, all the stuff we've talked about in the past, wheeled tanks, Manticore, other things that have been released. You know, they go, oh, okay, here it is, putting it in. We've done all our testing. It's balanced. And then 6 months down the line, you're like, well, no, actually, that screwed up 4 other things that you couldn't really know necessarily.
No. You'd have to play the game for days and days and days and days solid with that new concept to even get a little idea of how it would affect other things. Yeah.
And it's a pretty big game with a lot of moving parts. It is a closed system. You know, the only external stuff that comes in is whatever Wargaming allows in, so it is controlled to some extent, but I think designers tend to think they have more control than they do, which is something that if they're smart, they try to not think, but you see it in game design a lot, especially when the public facing part comes out and they start saying things like, our intention, is this. And then they release the thing, and when their intention doesn't come true, they try to fiddle with it to get to their intention without paying attention to what the gamers did with it and go, all right, well, how do we flow with that? You don't want to just let it go to pot, to seed, right? You don't want to just throw it out there and let gamers do whatever the heck.
No.
But at the same time, you can't run around and say, well, my intention for how the game should be played. Well, dude, that's, you lost control of that when you released it to people, that it's going to get played the way people figure out how to play it,
Well, no, absolutely. And that's, two very valid points there is that once a game goes out into the wild, you lose a percentage of ownership over that game because the player base then begin to own that. And secondly, players will identify ways of doing things with your, let's call it tanks, with your tanks that you never dreamt would happen. Like, using a TD like a heavy. The Wargaming don't release a TD unless it's the 264 or something like that, 26, whatever that thing is, the V4. But they don't normally release TDs so you can go up and face an E100 or something. And they don't. So, but players find ways around that, and they find play styles that they can use that particular tank in. That Wargaming gone, what? Why? What? No. And that's where the balance thing comes in so difficult for Wargaming, because once it's out there, the dynamics of the game changes that very idea you put out there. So you have to go with it. You can't just blanket ban it.
I'll tell you one gameplay kind of staple that I think they didn't really think about, and they've been fighting for a long time and through various ways. and that is the vision game and the camo game. You know, passive scouting was a big deal about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
With the way they designed the maps, they had so much cover on maps and passive scouting spots and being able to creep forward and light people up and people just getting disintegrated before they knew what the hell was going on. They fought that for a long time, you know, put Agent Orange across the maps, getting rid of these kind of spots. The second one, to a slightly lesser extent, is the ridge sniping stuff and all the hold down stuff that goes on. That's such a big part of the game. So that stuff just develops over time as players figure out the best way to win. Really, at the end of the day, what everyone's trying to do is figure out how do I use the tools I'm given in this game to have a better win rate or do more damage. This obsession with damage, that's another good one. You know, the obsession with damage and 3 marking and stuff, which may or may not have anything to do with winning, tends to have a higher win rate. But I don't think that's something necessarily that Wargaming, when they sat down, the developers started creating the game, like, hey, let's create a game. Let's create a game where people, they want to get max damage and they're going to 3 mark a tank and, you know, but they're not going to worry about winning. That's not what they did. They just made a tank game and they said, hey, let's have a win rate. And that stuff just developed over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's with any game you put out there, it will dynamically develop like that, whether you like it or not. There will be things that happen within that game that you didn't anticipate, you didn't offset for, and you may not even agree with it as the developer of the game, but it happened, and you can't take it back, you can't change it. It's interesting when you do the default card at the end. You know, the end of the battle, your cards come up, tell you how well you did. And all that. The default position is number of kills. You have to actively change it to damage, to read damage, but default is number of kills. So Wargaming had initially put more caveat on the number of kills. You became top of your team if you got 10 kills. But over time, they've suddenly realised that people are looking at damage here. Because I've got mine set to damage, as probably you have, and a lot more. I'm more than happy, and we had this conversation in Clan yesterday. I'm happy if I do a whole ton of damage, but I've got no kills, because it means I've been effective in the battle. Because you can kill near-deads all day long, you know. But if you've got 5,000-6,000 damage, you've actually contributed to that team. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. You've had a decent contribution. And I come away from games happy if I've done good damage. Shell drop is in the game. I think the guys are pretty much nailing it right there. If you've highlighted the target, it will do the shot as required, and it will attempt to center the shot where your pipper is, and then you got RNG and dispersion really for whether it gets into the circle. So there's RNG in the dispersion. You know, you have to look up that. I won't get into it, but somewhere inside the reticle, or maybe always on the edge of it. But you make a good point as well with when you got low velocity shells, they do tend to drop off as well. So high velocity.
They do drop off, but it still compensates. Whatever you've highlighted is the target, and that can be the ground, and it can be the ground far away. Now, what it does...
It's for me.
What it does when you take the pipper off of the play surface ground, because I don't think the background, the skyboxes are modeled like that. I think it's more or less centered at the pipper. So that's actually a good question. If it's always centered on the pipper... And then at what range? I don't know the answer to that, but I know the stuff in the game that you can highlight, the ground, you know, walls, tanks, wherever you put the pipper, that's the center calculation at that range. There's no ranging that you have to do for that.
No, there isn't. But I think you see, that's the other question. Over a greater length, does dispersion become bigger? Because in real life, of course, it does. You know, you have to take that into account.
Well,
dispersion over a great distance.
Yes, the dispersion is the dispersion, but the distance from the edges of it are physically wider further out. Correct? Yeah.
I would imagine that would be the case.
But the further away you are, the further off center it is in distance, but it's still the same dispersion. It's whatever it is.
And I had this borne out by Wargaming, because I actually sent a ticket in with a replay, because I was on, I can't remember the map it was on, but basically a scorpion fired at me and killed me. But the shot, when you look back at the replay, came through the building. Now, what Wargaming has said at the time of the shot, in the dispersion circle, my back end of my tank was actually showing.
Yeah.
Even though I'd moved to be behind the building,
Yeah.
at the point of firing the shot, I target, and that's why he got me.
Well, yeah, and I think that's true because I've seen this quite a bit, and I think basically what happens is if you have highlighted the target, it is at the point of taking the shot that it decides where that shot's going to go and whether it hits.
Yeah.
The only time that's not true is if you lead a shot and you haven't highlighted the tank. And then it just goes, all right, here's your dispersion circle. And then it has to figure out if the target intercepts with the thing. But point being, if you got a wall, you come hauling ass, you're just about to go behind a wall, and you get hit, and it looks like, and I think Cliffy just said it, it looks like the tracer's going through the wall, but it actually did the calculation while you were over here. Right?
Yeah.
And you've been hit, and yes, it looks like that, and then, of course, you skid to the stop and you die or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the time it was shot, now the other thing is what you're seeing and what the server's seeing could be two different things based on your lag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Based on packet loss, latency packet loss, his latency packet, blah, 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 blah. So what is shown can often look stupid, but
it did, because I was absolutely raging. So I sent the ticket in with the replay. I was like, that is just so wrong. That is just no, I'm not having that.
Yeah.
So, and then I was all like very sheepish and shamefaced when they came back with the replay and the reply and the explanation and everything. I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
I mean, I've done a lot of videos on that. I've done a lot of videos on that. Like, all right, where that you slow it down and you go, holy cow, that came through that window or whatever it was, And you could learn a lot from that because instead of just raging that, oh my, wall hacks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Take a look at it and go, some people know, a lot of really good players know all these weird little places that you can hide.
Yeah.
And they know these, I've been supposedly behind a solid wall and I get hit. And you adjust it just right and you've got this two pixel opening. And you see him, he's just staring right through it,
It's like,
yeah.
I hate you.
I think they try to close a lot of that stuff off when they find it, but again, back to what gamers do, right? They figure that stuff out.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Which is, it's a further subject too. It's one of the reasons why a lot of not very good players will camp so much because in this game you can get into places where you don't know how or why you're being hit. Right?
Yeah.
You've gone to a place, you're like, I just disintegrated, and I don't even understand how.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the good player on the other side knows exactly how to take you out right there. So they just start backing up their, I'm going to have to hide way back here because I keep dying.
Yeah, exactly that. And I can appreciate that. The only answer to that is not get good. The answer to that is start watching videos and start learning, I guess. But most people, I mean, to be fair, most people will try and learn the game to a point, but there comes a point for most people where they go, well, that's it, I play it now. And, unless you're dedicated, or, you're of a mindset that you want to always improve yourself, a lot of people just go, I just want to play the game, so I'm going to sit back here, let all the Superboys do what they do up front, and I'll just sit back with my Luger on the K1 line and just, and snipe.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people don't have the time that I have to play a stupid pixel tank game, and I get that. It's all what you personally want to do, and there's a law of diminishing returns, right? In order to get better and better, it takes more and more time, and the improvements get smaller, incrementally smaller, and it may only matter to you. Certainly doesn't matter to everybody else usually, unless what Wayne is saying, they're yelling at you to uninstall and get good.
Yeah. Analysis starts with anal. I've got to use that one in work at some point. Oh, dear.
I say you can play and have fun and not worry about it, but also try to get a little better as you go.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this channel is about. If people are interested in even a little bit and trying to get a little bit better, check out the videos once in a while, pick up a couple tidbits, and tomorrow you play a little better, or this situation, hey, that helped me out with that situation, and I enjoyed that game that much more, and that's perfect.
Yes. Yeah. It's about trying to create enjoyment, but also be A, on the learning curve, and B, on the progress curve. So, but you don't want to get to a point where it's all consuming. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? Pulling your hair out because you're not getting it. But you make a very good point. Is if you plateau, which I currently am sitting around 52.18% win rate. How do I know that off the top of my head?
I don't know.
But yeah, no.
You don't obsess about it, not you.
I know I'm not obsessed about it, but I can't get past it at the moment. But you make a good point. It's because you're doing all the right things to be at that level. What you're not doing is the little right things you need to do to make it go forward.
Yeah.
And the only way you do that is by learning, by watching, by watching the videos, by trying out these new things that you should be trying to teach yourself. Some people would be happy to stay where they are. That's fine. But
yeah, that's very common. People say it a lot. They're like, "Oh, I'm doing all this damage. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, but my win rate is plateaued or decreasing." Like, well, that's because you're getting to parts of the game you don't have any experience in.
Yes.
You're more often in the important part of the game, the mid to late game, and that's the hardest part of the game. Nearly anybody can run forward and get a couple, 3 shots in and die. That's actually really easy in this game, to be quite honest. What's hard is to get to the mid, and even harder to get to the late game and have a vote or two left and make the right decisions to win the close ones. Sometimes you get run over, sometimes you run over other teams. There's a good percentage of games that go like that. But there's those games where you have more of a vote. You have a vote in those games too. If you're good enough, you turn If you're good enough, you turn around some of those games, one way or the other. There are people who do that. Go watch skill play. It's ridiculous.
It is, isn't it? I've seen some against
his percentages of auto wins and auto losses are heavily affected by him because he takes that center group of games and widens that out. I think actually he widens out the auto losses and is able to skew those, and he takes the auto wins and moves them towards him just because he's in it helping the snowball go early on. So really, I suppose if you want to look at it, he left shifts that. I know I'm going. Left shifts that. And in his favor. Now, everybody can do that. It's how much you can shift, your skill. And sometimes if you're really bad, you're shifting it the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's not just this.
But it's cumulative as well. The more you get into that, the more it pushes that way. Do you know what I mean? Even if you get losses, it's offset by how far that way you are. So it becomes cumulative. So almost as if you become a super unicorn, it must be very difficult with 60,000 battles, as one of the guys there says he's got, to get a massive drop. I mean, I've had a massive spike and a massive drop in the past, and I've gone, what? How? That's because I had a small sample size. I only had 10,000 battles. And of course, you only need to lose 15, 20, 30 battles, and you drop through the floor. The more games you got, then it's comparative, isn't it? The percentage becomes comparative.
Yeah, and the guys are chatting about recents and overall. The thing is, somebody put a command. Why wouldn't
Go Air Force?
He did the A, but I didn't realize I had that in there. Go Air Force. I didn't even know that I put that in there. That's pretty funny.
Cool.
Recents and overalls. Really, at this point, after 10 years, if you've been playing for a long, I would completely ignore overalls. They're just all over the place. There's been so many changes and things they do. They don't really take into account. Well, Win 8 doesn't take in. This is a whole other subject, but Win 8 doesn't take into account assist damage. It's just the whole thing is an absolute disaster. Just look at what you're doing recently. And Win 8's Win 8's okay. I mean, you can track Win 8 and see how you're doing damage wise, but remember that there's no assist stuff in there. Just look at your win rate and what the damage you're doing, and worry about the stuff you're doing now. The overalls, whatever.
Yeah, no, I learned from you very early on when I first came into the clan, and I was, I think, 49% player. I mean, you just said, look, forget your win rate. Look at forget your overall win rate. Look at what you're doing in the last 100 battles, the last 500 battles. And actually, when I looked at those stats, I was improving. But I couldn't see the improvement because it didn't seem big enough for me.
Exactly.
I was looking at the overall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're like, why is my win rate not improving, man?
Yeah. But I was actually improving day by day. So yeah.
It is. It's just a law of large numbers. It takes a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
So Metal Lover Madness says his win rate's gone up 3%. That's perfect.
Cool.
And I've actually said that, and this is complete guesstimation, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I've watched all this. So I think I can make some valid guesstimations. I can almost guarantee I could take anybody 50% or lower and get them to 53 to 55%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Depending on how much they're interested in getting better. 3 to 5% is about what I can do around 50%. If you're already 55%, you'll find some good stuff on the channel, or maybe some things that remind you. I am not going to make you skill. I'm not going to make you a 65% player. I can help. There's some things you may learn along the way, but there's probably other people to go watch to crank out that 65% win rate. If I could do that, you would clearly see it on my stats. So we have to be realistic. I don't do that. I have days or weeks where I get there, but it's not consistent like that. No. That's a bit of a different play style, though. I mean, that's a pretty. It really is pretty specific on what you have to do to play at that level.
I mean, I totally respect skill, and I think I've watched him, I follow him and everything else, and I totally respect him. But the caveat to it, he only plays the tanks that he likes to play. He won't do like you do. You've got 600 tanks in the garage and you'll play anything. He will have a specific parameter that he won't go outside. Unless it's creating content or something new comes in, he sticks with what he likes, which is fine. It's exactly why he's as good as he is, because he's got to know the tanks that he plays very, very well, strengths and weaknesses, and also obviously the maps. And Cheapers, does he have some luck, man? He is, he could just throw a shot out in the air and it just takes people out.
You create your own luck, man. You create your own luck. To be fair, he does take some request stuff, because I've seen him do videos like, all right, you asked for it, here's this crummy tank, and I played it, and he always kills in it. Anyway, now not at the level of the stuff he likes, but still at a level above us mere mortals. However you want to look at it.
He is beyond mortal, isn't he? 71's in the house. AMC.
Hey, man.
Buddy.
Yeah, he does it for
good. Back to you're absolutely correct.
And here's the thing. I bet there's better players than him out there that just they don't do what he don't do the streams. They're
not. Yeah, exactly. They don't stream. They just play the game.
So I'm wondering. I don't know. Maybe he is at the very top. I bet he has to be near the top. I guess if you probably look at the top players in RU or E or wherever hell he's playing, he could be up there. But there's other players out there that are probably as good as him.
Oh yeah, because they don't stream, they're not known.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go onto the RU website and actually or any website, you can pull up top players in any server region.
Yeah.
And you can get a list of the top 100 and just look at where they're at. And you can see, I mean, there's a few outliers there, ones with only 300 battles.
Yeah.
And they're 67% win rates. You're like, yeah, but I got 300 battles, mate. But you can see there are some extraordinary good players out there.
Yeah. The guys are making a good point. Yeah, he is 3-marking every tank. So I don't think he really cherry picks too much. I suppose I think when he gives his opinion, it's more his thing about tanks is it's good if it's good.
Yes.
Right. He's only going to say it's good if it's, and I don't want to say overpowered, but that's kind of what it is. If it's average or bad, that's his opinion, right? He doesn't want to play crappy tanks, even though he's 3-marking everything. He'll come back and go, "This thing is horrible. I just 3-marked it, and I'm the best player in this tank." You're like, "Well, fuck." Doesn't seem that horrible.
You just wish, don't you? I watch him and I just go, if I had 100% of what you've got, I'd be so happy.
Yeah. I hated this tank. I'm now the best player in this tank in the world. Yeah, and you're like, get it.
Yeah. Bats fam, we need to talk at probably at some point, but you're doing console. There's some slight differences. I did do console beta and I did console for about 1.5 years, so I'm more than happy to have a chat later. But the maps are slightly different on console in a lot of respects, and the gameplay is slightly different. So what we talk about here on PC, don't necessarily try and put it into the console, because it might work, but it might not work either.
It's quite a different game, actually. Quite a different game.
Yeah, it is.
All right, guys. So the marathon ends today. Knock it out if you're going to do it. The black market, I don't have any essay on that. I haven't heard anything. The theory is sometime in a week or two. I don't know. They've got it under wraps because I haven't seen any.
Haven't they just? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen any rumors or anything on that. So, have some gold, have some bonds, have some credits ready for whatever tanks are out there. I'm not even sure any of the various leaked lists are even correct.
No.
There was some shenanigans going on there in the background, so I don't know how well they've kept this under lock and key. So we'll have to see.
Wes just threw 5 keys in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the tanks will be for 5 keys. That is definitely happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you got your 5 keys, you'll get a really up tank.
The HE stuff on the test server.
Yeah.
So there's a little article about that here. Sandbox results, not test server, sandbox, a different kind of test server that's not a test server but a sandbox. I was pretty happy with this. There's not much information here, but I like the way they couched it because I think they definitely listened to the players and took it to heart.
Yeah.
Preliminary results: significant reduction in damage from HE shells hitting the front of heavily armored vehicles. That was one of their stated intentions.
Okay. Yeah.
Improved UI for notifications about hits and pens. I have no idea what that means, but I mean I know what it means, but I don't know what it looks like. Some of you guys may have been in the sandbox and seen this. The ability to inflict minimal damage with HE shells when reaching armor. And then they have the current discussion topics, which is all the feedback, and I've seen all this talked about on the CC channel. So they have taken it, and I think that's good news. So I don't personally think there's anything wrong with HE. I don't get why we're doing this, to be quite honest. Seems like a lot of effort for not a lot of result. And the thing I don't like about it is it's never been articulated what we were trying to fix. The really good players, CCs, are irritated that you can... HE is no skill. You just dab 2 and you shred damage off of their tank.
Well, yeah.
I don't see why that's a huge problem, but it's the same argument against artillery.
Yep.
It's that they can't do anything about it. So you can't angle or do anything clever, and and I think they overestimate how much damage they're getting from HE shooting tanks. Yeah, it's a bummer to get pinned. Go ahead.
I think, Guido, well, 2 things, Guido. One, HE hates you, as Stickler says, so you've got a slant on this one because
that's
never
valid.
For you. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I think with the whole thing, it's the outliers that have caused the stink. So generally HE, if you get it into tracks or get it into spaced armor, doesn't really do too much. It's not that reliable. Where the outliers are brought in the noise is the big hitters, the FVs, the Sugar Barn, for want of a better word, the Death Star, the KB2s, the 60TP with its HE round, and so on and so on and so on. All these big HE hitters, the outliers, 5 or 6 of them, have made this noise. People are going around in the hover mediums getting almost one-shotted by somebody in an FV. And that's where the noise has come from, to rebalance the HE shells. Because generally HE shells are not that big a deal to me. That's a personal opinion.
That's my point. There's so relatively few of them out there. I mean, it's less of a problem than Artie by 40 miles.
Yes, absolutely.
Somebody said they don't like getting HE'd when they're chieftains. I mean, I get that. I understand the idea that I'm a good player and I don't want the bad players, or any player, let's just say that, any player to have a mechanic that requires no skill. But if that's the argument and they're actually changing HE because of something like that, or at least one of the reasons, holy cow, what do you and they are reworking Artie as part of this. I don't know, man. It just didn't seem like a problem to me that I cared about.
Yeah. It's a non-problem. I don't understand it, but if Wargaming feel a need that they need to do something with it, there's sufficient noise being made, I guess, at some level. Yeah. So that's why they're doing it. But it's Wargaming all over. They'll not focus on other things that are important to some people, and they'll focus on stuff like this. So that's fine. And
what we also talked about earlier before we came on live here is we were talking about the the light tanks, right, and some of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get down the bottom. The performance of high mobility vehicles that carry high pen HE shells, in particular wheeled vehicles, which makes me go, all right, they want to keep that or get rid of that?
Yeah, they haven't actually stated that, have they?
Yeah.
It's not clear, is it?
The performance of premium vehicles like the KV2R. Remember last time they started talking about this, the decision was made that the KV2R would not be affected by the changes. So now we have these special rules a la the EBR FL10 that didn't get the nerfs.
Yeah.
Because it's premium.
Yeah.
And the Progetto, which got a free rammer because they didn't want to change a premium.
No.
So that kind of crap is in play again, which drives me kind of crazy.
Interesting, isn't it? I mean, we are not involved in the decision-making process in any way, shape, or form, but it would be very interesting to be a fly on the wall to see how they actually come about in the boardroom. How do they come about? Why is this such a huge focus? Because it is. It's sandbox. It's going to be common test. It's going to be, where was the need to do this whole rebalancing thing came from? It'd be interesting to know, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well,
will.
Bakhtu mentioned the RE server. That's always in the background. We try to mention it as we go along here. All of this discussion on NA is sometimes moot because the driving force is RU and to some extent EU.
Yeah.
So they are going to focus, rightly so. That's where most of their players are on RU, and hopefully along the way they can keep NA happy in EU and continue the money moving in. So
yeah.
yeah.
I guess if you've got 1 million players, you've got some weight behind you, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Someone said something about sharpening pitchforks. Well,
not really, but yeah. It's a point of discussion, but it's not a game changer for me. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I got when they tried to do the HE rebalancing the first time, I got really pear-shaped about it. But I mean, nobody's going to listen to me. But I got personally pear-shaped about it because my favourite little Death Star became not valid in the game anymore.
Yeah.
When I'm bouncing off light tanks with my HE shell from a 183 gun.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, pitchforks for Crew 2.0. Yeah, I'm with you on that. The Crew 2.0.
Got you. Okay, Cliff.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information on that one right there. I think they did the equipment 2.0 pretty well, so I will give them that, and hopefully the crew thing works out in the same way. But I think I won't go over this again, but I will just say that I think there was a much easier way for them to make crew much better, and I don't care so much about how the crew works. I want the skills and perks to be reworked so that some of them are valid or there's more interest in it. I don't give two shits if there's 14 guys or 80 guys or one commander or whatever. I just want this.
They all run along the same.
Yeah.
So you don't have a
I mean, I like the special crew members. So as long as that's part of it, if you want to make one commander and the crew's still there, but it's just the commander, and I don't understand how that makes it easier. To be quite honest, it seems like it's going to get extremely complicated. But maybe it's amazingly streamlined, and I don't know what I'm talking about. So hopefully that's true.
You have to wait and see now. I think Crew 2.0 is so set in concrete by Wargaming that we just have to wait and see now. There's nothing that's going to change.
Well, see, I hate that attitude. I hate it.
But it is though.
Nothing against Cliffy, but you're just going to have to wait and see. Screw that. There was a better way to do it. Why?
Oh yeah, no.
That is so endemic in we're going to go off on a tangent. That is so endemic in society now. The expert comes up and says, "You're just going to have to wait and see." You know what? Screw you. I can see it. I don't have to wait and see anything.
But that's valid. But I think what Cliffy is trying to say, and I would also add to that, is that it is valid that you can see it, I can see it, we can all see it, and we can have a voice about it. Absolutely. Yeah. Will it change? Probably not.
Well, and that's the thing, that the implication with wait and see is wait and see, and then it doesn't matter whether you like it or not because it's already been implemented. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's what
True.
happens. It's not like you
Yeah, that's
have an
true.
input. It's not like you have an input after wait and see. If I wait and see, it's been done and it's over.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am going to wait and see and deal with it. That's the
Yeah.
implication of that kind of mindset. And
Yeah.
you know, it was, I think it was an easy fix just to make a minor tweak to a system that works well and people liked.
Yeah.
People, the pain points were moving crews, which totally makes sense, 100%. And the skills and perks system had languished for 8 years since
Yes.
they put in the upgraded, it was repairs.
Yes.
It was repairs, camo, and firefighting at first.
Yeah.
And then they added the new skill system, and then they let it languish for, I don't know, what was it, 7 years, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they created their own bed, and they did need to rework it. But I felt like a more iterative process. See, we're getting into it anyway. I felt like a more iterative process was in order. But the company feels like they need to do a total rework. They got to keep their game fresh.
That's the company all over, Guido. I mean, they don't. Very rarely, sorry, it's not that they don't, but very rarely do they do incremental changes that have the effect that they want in the long run.
Yeah.
They see a problem, and as we've said before, they get the big old sledgehammer out. They go smash it all to pieces, reset it, rework it. There you go. That's the new stuff.
Yeah.
But half of it we didn't even need. Thank you.
Yeah.
We don't even want. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we will see. I mean, I'm assuming there will be an opportunity for feedback, like they're doing with the HE. They did the sandbox that looks like, based on the article, they've taken people's feedback. Crew 2.0, you have to assume, will be the same thing. The equipment.
I can't wait for the survey on it. The one with the final question.
How old are you?
Yeah. I always put 6. I'm 6.
Six in dog years.
Yeah, I'm 6 in dog years.
Dog years. Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear.
All right.
I don't know why.
I was just wondering about compensation for high skilled crews. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the questions. We don't have the final word there on what it's going to look like. They've mentioned that they're obviously taking that into account, and they want people who have spent a lot of time on their crews to get. See, the compensation word is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Are people saying I want my money back? I want a better crew. I want silver, gold. I don't know. What is this compensation? The assumption being that I'm going to get a crew that's worth less in the game. Well, you have to assume, like with equipment, that you're going to get the same relative value for what you had in the new system. And I think the equipment example is pretty good, because I think most people came away with a little extra silver in their bank and got their tanks back more or less where they went. I don't know personally. I have so many tanks. I still find some. I've sold a bunch. I don't know. I don't care, because I'm a CC and I give a lot of silver and gold, and who cares? But not everybody is me. So if somebody's kept track of it, I think that you probably came a little ahead on that. You'll be able to.
I mean, we did. Yeah. Eisenberg, exactly. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll start that rumor off then.
All right, guys. I have to take a quick break because my eyeballs are floating.
Okay.
So we're gonna go away for about 2 or 3 minutes. We'll be right back, guys. So grab a coffee, recharge the glass, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we back. We back. Whew.
I don't think we've shilled yet, have we?
With what?
In the shop.
No, we haven't
The
actually.
premium shop.
Yeah,
We have, no. Crikey. Didn't we go off on one there?
we did, man. We did. Hey, we got a follow from Bugs. Awesome. All right, shop. There's actually a lot of stuff going on in the shop,
Oh, yeah.
guys. We got the T77 is back, by the way. So the T77 is back. You can get that. Ultimate and whatnot. My 30% coupon is gone.
Mine's still there. I've got 5 days left on it.
On your 30%? Nuppa Crates, what's happening? Thank you. KV5, so you can get a KV5. We've got the IS-3A, the tank that destroyed the game, is back. Ready to destroy the game further.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure you get one and destroy the game. It is the most overpowered, worst tank. They just flood the game and destroy it. It is a silly tank. It really is. We've also got the M4190 with the carnival stuff going on. So quite a few tanks actually. I'm not going to worry about gold or premium count. I will throw. Is it the gold? No, it's this. I will go to gold actually. These are still kicking around. These nicely discounted little, especially this rookie kickstart for $2. You get a weekend of premium to kind of check out the game. So if anyone here is new or hasn't played World of Tanks, you can hardly go wrong for spending $2 for a weekend of gaming with premium to get an idea of what the game is like with a premium account. So it's hard to beat that, man. $2, holy cow.
Do you know how that works for me? I use that for my EU account. So although it's free to play, if I feel a need over a weekend to grind something, I'll bang that in and get 3 days of premium, then it just goes back to normal.
You can't even get a coffee for $2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and every time you do that, I get kicked back 18 cents.
I thought you did. I really thought you did.
It's just science. It's just science. It's
just
how it
fact.
works.
It's just fact.
I got my Christmas mug going on.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
Tank Museum.
I'm sorry it arrived in February. Talk about it, man. I could have. Well, we've said this before. I could have swam the Atlantic and got it there quicker.
Yeah, you can get free coffee as a cop. You just got to be careful where you get it from. You might have something silly in it.
Yeah, exactly.
These days, Offspring tank is
glass.
yeah. The TL, what is this thing? TL1 LPC is out. That's a pretty good medium with the Offspring stuff, and you can listen to them play their music while you drive.
Well, does it still give you the crew?
I think so. Let's
Oh
find out.
no, that's cool then.
Yeah, crew
no, that's
voiceover.
cool.
End music. So so when you play that tank with that skin, you get their music. I never did it.
But you know what? I've got it, but I've got the music turned off, so I wouldn't know.
Oh right. I never did it because it irritated me that they wouldn't let the content creators use their music because of the music industry
okay.
a-holes.
Yeah.
That's a whole other subject, but everybody wants their cut of the pie, right?
Yeah.
Like
Clippy actually says, yeah, it plays a song instead of the map music.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
But you're an old has-been band like the Offspring.
Yeah.
And you're about to get exposed to millions of gamers, younger, not generally, but a lot of them younger. They may not know who the heck you are. You know? Which fine, your song's in the game, but you got all these different contributors who are willing to give you free advertisement on. It's not like we're all getting a boost from their damn music. No. You know, we could have totally featured the music. Holy cow! Look at this. Here's this song from when my youth, and have it rocking on the video. And who cares? It's exposure, right? They're like, well, we're the Offspring. We don't need exposure. Well, you kind of do. Well, you're sort of, you know.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah. Do you know? Here's the thing. What makes a band no longer cool? What makes a band? You know, the current generation. They got all their bands or whatever. What makes them not cool?
I don't know. What makes them not cool?
Right. What makes them not cool is when your dad says, I like this music, and downloads it onto his iPod. Because I did that, and my son stopped listening to Limp Bizkit and all the rest of them as soon as I downloaded it.
You know what also makes it uncool?
No.
You actually put it on an iPod, which nobody uses now.
Did they not?
No,
I thought
nobody.
That was cutting edge technology. Wait there. Wait there.
Oh. He probably has a Zuni. Show us the iPod.
That's the headphones.
Yep, from 1998.
Cutting edge technology, 21st century.
That is a kid's iPod today. The phone does everything.
What's that?
The phone does everything. Yeah, you have a flip phone.
Oh, hang on.
Oh my gosh! Today on Ancient Tech revealed.
Right.
Today on Ancient Tech
That,
revealed.
you mean? That.
Today on Ancient Tech revealed, the old geezer will show his technology that still works in 2021.
Is that? Can you not get music on this then?
That phone is proof that aliens were here at 2000 BC.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, look, it still works, and it plays that tune. You know, diddle-dee-dee, diddle-dee-dee, diddle-dee-dee. Anyway, where were we?
The kids do everything. They do their homework on their phone. I caught my kids. I'm like, my son's on his phone doing this. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm writing my paper. I'm like, on your phone? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Discman. Discman, I remember that.
Discman, yeah.
Heisenberg totally lost focus.
I blacked out. I don't know what's happening. I blacked out. That was the first CD player my buddy had. Was one of those remote things, and he had the cassette tape with the wire, and the cassette tape would go into the cassette player, and the CD player would play through the cassette player. This was 85 or whatever. But the first ones were terrible because they didn't sample multiple times, and they skipped like crazy. So any little bump in the car as we drove down the road, the music would constantly skip. We had to kind of pad it with a bunch of shirts or a coat or something so it wouldn't shake too much.
It wouldn't. Brilliant. Did you know in your cockpit were you allowed to have music playing like Ride of the Valkyrie?
Actually, funny you asked that. We did that on long distance flights on what we called routes right on the Eagle. So if we were going from Kadena to Australia, I did it on that trip from Kadena up to Elmendorf up in Alaska, or any cross country things where we have a long ride. And what we had were patch cords. The comm guys would do it for us, and you would take your helmet plug and you'd plug it into that, and then there would be a wire off to your Discman, basically, and then plug it back into the rig. Yeah, so it would pipe the music into your headphones, and then you could adjust the volume on your device.
But none of the command crew.
No, it didn't transmit. It would, yeah, and that's what they had to do is make sure that it didn't transmit. It was only going that way. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so make sure the right wire is tapped into, otherwise you'd be transmitting.
Oh, well, yeah, you'd be in trouble, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I was playing Jimmy Buffett as we crossed the equator on the way down to Australia. Changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes. It's just as we crossed the equator.
Awesome. Yeah, you got to have the right music for the situation.
Man. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. No, cool. Absolutely brilliant.
Not technically legal, but we did it. And you get cooped up in a seat for 9 hours straight.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, you can't exactly take your guitar with you. There's not much room, is there?
No. The Lurva is out there, guys. The Lurva is out there. And that's pretty much it for the shilling. There's some styles and crap going on. The Renagati is out there.
Oh, you see, that's still a good tank. I like that.
Yeah. I think the consensus on that, most people think it's probably the best U.S. heavy.
Right.
Just all around her. The T-77 is pretty good, but I think the Renegade's just a little bit more flexible for people.
Is that the crew trainer for the T-57 and the T-77? Is that what it's really designed around? I think.
Don't know. Is the T-77 a 4-crew tank? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't got it. That's why I was thinking about buying it. I thought,
Let's find out here. T57, I think, is 4. Yes, T57 is 4 people. So yeah, it looks like it matches. The T77 is also 4 people.
Right.
Yep, and it's I don't know where's the radio man. Is it on the commander? Let's see. The radio guy is the commander, and is that the same on the T57 though? Survey says yes. So there you go. And the T54.
I might buy it then this weekend. Yeah.
T5041 should be the same, I hope. And then it's all kosher from there. Yep, there you go. So perfect.
Well, I've got 30% discount as well, so I can get it for cheap as chips as well. So that's cool. Oh, there we go. Made my mind up for me. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, gummy bears, 100%. That is a weakness. The cupola is going to get sniped quite a bit. Just there's a lot of rocking and moving around and shifting your turret just a little bit. That kind of stuff that goes on to keep them from hitting it. But it is certainly a weak spot. 54 Val with the follow. Thank you. Nepocrates sub. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Artillery Bugs with the follow. Sparky subbed earlier. Granddad Grumps with the follow. And oh, that was right. That was before this. That was actually yesterday. So thank you, everybody. It was very much appreciated for sure. Where were we, man? What were we talking about?
We finished shilling.
Shilling, yeah, that's right. We talked about black market. We don't know. All right. So expedition battle pass, tank reward tanks, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They've changed that around. There is some information, but it is not complete information. Let's go ahead and see if I can find it. On Watt Express, they are reporting that these are the tanks. So there was some kerfuffle about there's no reward tanks. That was purely just the way that article was written. I don't think they ever intended to not have reward tanks. New tanks level 9 for free for tokens, and the tokens you're going to get through Battle Pass, Frontline, and Steel Hunter. So they got rid of the expedition. I think the general point of it is that you're going to be able to get your tokens for playing randoms, Steel Hunter, and Frontlines. So all of them are in play. My question is...
Rank battles as well.
Ranks, that's right. You're right. Sorry. Rank battles as well. So instead of these kind of different disjointed things, it's all one basket. My question then is, okay, does that mean I can just play pubs and get enough tokens through Battle Pass, or am I really, or is it going to require me to touch some of these other ones a little bit to gather enough tokens? The math on what you get for what I have not seen, so that's the question I don't know the answer to. K91 PT Kunstpanzer, the A Phase 1, I have that. The Charfuture, this is what I'm after, guys. This is the one I want right here. This is an overpowered monster. I love the Charfuture. That thing is an absolute monster. This is a very average of all the reward tanks, and it's interesting that it's a Russian heavy that's not too great. That's probably the most average one. I don't know anything about these two, so I can't talk to them. But of these three, A Phase 1 is good. I like it a lot. Charfuture is a monster. This is okay. This K91 PT has been changed in Super Test about 82,000 times. So I don't know. They must be having problems balancing it well. I don't know. So we'll see how that comes out. The Kunstpanzer has hydro-pneumatic suspension by Pilgrim's favorite button activation.
Yeah, you gotta press X again, X all the time.
So why does the STB do it without pressing a button? And this one,
see?
And this one, and the Swedish mediums do it without pressing a button. Now the Swedish TDs have to press a button to go into siege mode. Is this a weird combination between those two things? Why? How does this one need a button?
Because they just think you need to press a button sometimes. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just about pressing the button.
They want as many X functions as they can put into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm frightened that one day I'm going to press X and then the toast is going to pop up out the toaster in the kitchen. You know what I mean? They're making me press X that often now.
Keep pressing X. Keep pressing X. So yeah, guys, that's really the bottom line is the you'll be able to get points in all those different things. And Battle Pass, obviously, which is going to be 3 commanders now, and it's going to be, you can get 50 levels in each one of 3 seasons or 3 sections of a season, or however the hell they're breaking it out this year. It'll be interesting. We'll see how that comes.
I like. Can I just throw this one in here? I like the way that they say each Battle Pass season will have 3 chapters. Great. So there's 3 chapters per Battle Pass. We know that. So there won't be any elite progression or anything else. However, when they come to how many chapters there are, they don't tell you. Each season chapter will consist of a certain number of stages.
Yeah.
Why can't they just say 15 stages, 10 stages, a certain number? We're not letting you know. It's a secret.
I think they're still trying to decide because they want to know that. It's kind of interesting because what they said in their earlier articles is there was feedback that the grind for these vehicles on Expedition was too long. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Which the implication is they're going to make it easier, but they never really said that. They just said our feedback was it was too. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine all this stuff into this year-long grind. I'm like, okay, you know what? So how many token coins, iron seals, whatever the heck you're going to call it? What do I need? How many can I get where? How long is it going to, what do I need? That's not out there yet. That's the question. I don't think your grind's going to be any shorter because it's a tier 9 reward tank. They're not going to make it easy to get.
No, they're not going to make it easy because it is, as you say, tier 9. I mean, Shuffle, the Shuffle, crikey, you've made that easy. I mean, I haven't got it in my NA account. I desperately want it on my NA account. I've got it on the EU account. Oh, for low blows in the house. There you go, mate. There we are. Australia.
What's up, man? Fun
with flags.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a grind. I don't even know why they even mentioned that. It's one of those cake and eat it too. Hey, look, we listened to you. You said it was too grindy. Here's a grindy thing to replace it. No one expected any different. I'm not mad. It's just why obfuscate it and act like, hey, here's your non-grinding. Now, what I do like is that, and this is what I've said for a long time, you need to be able to do it in whatever manner you want to do, whatever part of the game you like to grind and play. Why not allow that all those cool tier 9 tanks be accessible? And this is exactly what this looks like to me, unless you have to spend significant time in one of the other phases just to get the amount of coins you need.
Ooh, now that would, because they did that with Battle Pass and Steel Hunter. You could only get so many. You got, I think it was 10, wasn't it? 10 tokens or whatever on front lines. And then you had to do Steel Hunter to get the other 1 or 2 or whatever it was. So that'll be interesting because some of us don't do ranked. A lot of us don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they set it up to make you play 2 or more of them, that's not a help. That's not really different. It's a change, but it's a distinction without a difference, right?
Yeah. There's some breakdown on stages and such like in chat there. Which actually sort of makes sense, really.
What's that?
5 keys per tank now.
Yeah, 12 tokens per tank last year. So again, whatever the number is they use, and however many you can get. What I would like to see is I can play pubs, and over the year, exactly. With Battle Pass, I can get what I need to get a tier 9. Which then kind of begs the question: if they do it that way, does that mean you can get it faster doing the other stuff, or can you get more of the tanks? Is it possible to get 2 tanks? Right,
so that's last year it was hard to get enough to get 2 tanks out the 3, which you could do.
Could you?
But you significantly had to put a lot of hours into to get that, wasn't it? Yeah.
So we'll see. That information's not out. Yeah, that information's not out. We'll see how that goes. We talked about HE. We talked about that. Pilgrim, you wanted to throw out the challenge you're giving the guys to take you out?
Are we on subjects du jour now?
Yeah.
I'm never quite sure where we're at. You've got the list.
You're on.
I'm on. Okay, you've got the secret list, you see, and then you keep bouncing backwards. I don't get a list off you. I just have to go with the flow, don't I?
Yeah.
I don't know where I am. Okay, subjects du jour. That's where we are. Listen, don't forget, guys, if you see me in my E25 or my leaf blower, and you do it live, Cliffy, and you kill me, let me know in PM or whatever, in game or however. Contact me of either Discord or whatever, and I'll gift you 500. What I do in the clan, which is not good for people who are not in the clan, but I do let them know I'm about to go and play me E25 or my leaf blower. So, but generally I'll do it on a Friday evening. So my evening will be Friday mid-afternoon for you guys. So if you see me knocking around the E25 or the leaf blower and you kill me, let me know. 500 gold is yours. All right, 500 gold, Heisenberg.
All right, so you do play them.
I just purely for an hour. I will do it for an hour on a Friday. You know what I mean? So people can at least get the opportunity. Obviously, it all depends on the thousands of people that are then entering into the game to match up with me. Blah blah blah. I'm not giving you any advantages, but it's you know.
I need to try to join you, and I'll play the sheriff account.
Oh no, cool. We had the E25 platoon the other day, didn't we? The three of us.
Yeah, that was
would have
silly.
been cool, but yeah, okay. So that's
we won that game, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. No thanks to me, but yes, we did.
And you had one other thing too.
I did. Listen, right. Do you know I was brought in on this channel specifically to bring culture to you brash colonials.
Look how that worked out.
Look how that worked out, yeah. Not quite how you thought it would go, did it?
No, it's all been downhill since then. It's accelerating as well. It's like you're in the soapbox derby. You're in that soapbox derby thing. You see that first corner, and be like, "I'm not going to make this corner. I am going right into that hay bale, and it's a possibility we're going over it into the crowd."
Yeah, which makes it for more entertainment, doesn't it? You know,
everybody likes. Everyone likes a train wreck. Everyone can't look away from a train wreck.
No, I know, they stare, rubberneck.
Yeah. Slow down so you can see the carnage.
Yeah, let's see. Oh look, there's. No, let's not go there. All right.
All right.
However, I digress. When you go away, the guys say to me, entertain them, sing them a song. Now, I'm not going to pull my guitar out the back and caterwaul and just turn everybody off this channel. However, what I'm going to do, you know that I'm really big into English literature.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You have a guitar?
I have 3, yeah. I played it going into Iraq.
And you can sing?
Well, yeah, but most people say no, but I do.
All right, go on with this, but we're gonna have to have you sing on Coffee Talk one day. Oh
my goodness, mate! No, you don't. You will not. Everybody will stop subbing if I sing.
All right, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't realize this is new information. I was not aware of this.
All right. Okay. Well, I as a tangent before I do this. I actually crossed into. I crossed the berm singing American Pie on top of my warrior back in '91.
Nice.
And we got 100 Iraqi soldiers surrender straight away, and my guys behind said that's purely because your singing was so crap. It was nothing to do with the Americans bombing the shit out of them. It was just me singing American Pie off key. Yeah. They went, no more singing, we surrender.
The angel of death approacheth. That's awesome.
That's exactly what it was. After half a bottle of Jack Daniels. Anyway, that's a different story. Right, okay. Yeah.
Riding on one of them? Yeah.
Well, that's a Bradley, isn't it?
No, that's the warrior.
Yeah.
This
that's the
I think
30mm rod and cannon.
No, that's the Brad, I think. Right
that's
there,
the Bradley. Yeah, that's the Bradley. Yeah, slightly different shape at the front. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that was. I was a colour sergeant with 3 of them under my command, and not one of them did anything I told them to do. They just did their own thing, which is fine. Yeah. Which is fine. Right, I want to read a poem out, but a poem to keep everybody interested rather than switching off. There will be 4 questions at the end, or there will be a need for 4 answers of a specific question at the end of the poem, which will earn the first person to get it right 500 gold in game.
Okay.
So, can I read the poem?
Please.
Am I allowed to?
Please, and I will not interrupt.
I will give you the question first. Okay. What I need to know is the name of the poet.
Okay.
Okay. Where this poet was born.
Hold on.
Where
Well, let
Okay,
me
you got
type
that?
this in. Where they were born.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
Where the poem was first written down,
Okay.
and what was the poem written on?
Okay. This
So
is
we
what.
got how many?
There we go. Is that right? Name of poet, where they were born, where the poem
Yeah.
was first written down, and what was it written on?
Was
All
it
right.
written on? Cool. All right, here we go. Let me read you the poem.
All right.
I have to be quite serious with this.
Okay.
Here we go. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am in 1,000 winds that blow. I am the softly falling snow. I am the gentle showers of rain. I am the fields of ripening grain. I am in the morning hush. I am in the graceful rush of beautiful birds in a circling flight. I am the starshine of the night. I am in the flowers that bloom. I am in a quiet room. I am in the birds that sing. I am in each lovely thing. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. Thank you. There you go.
Nice. Now you've written some poetry.
I've written poetry, yeah, but it's not for publication. I can tell you, no way. You're not getting me to sing, and I'm not quoting my own poetry.
I think we are. I think we are.
Not today, you're not.
And not to mock it. So it's interesting because my wife's family, as you know, is British, of Irish descent, most of them, but
Cool.
married into some local, Liverpool, Chester,
Houses, I like it.
Liverpool, Chester, Manchester area, that part
Yes,
of the
all that
country.
area, northwest.
And one of her cousins does poetry. He's had a little bit. He's had some of it published, in small.
Good man. Yeah.
But same thing. He's big old lad, but writes poetry, enjoys it. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll have to look at the Rag and Bone Man. I take it you've heard his songs at all. Have you heard the Rag and Bone Man songs?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Ragged
Possibly
Bone Man.
Google it. Rag and Bone Man. Yeah.
Oh,
over here,
Rag
he's
and
a-
Bone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet I have. That sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah. He did. I'm Only Human and a couple of other things. He's a very soulful singer. Big lad, great big beard.
Yes.
Huge guy.
Yes. This dude
Yeah,
is
yeah,
awesome. Yeah. I have heard his. Yeah.
Well, do you know what I mean? There's talent
Yep.
out there, irrespective of body shape.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
got talent. Do you know? Hey, not me.
Well, present company excluded.
Exactly. Yeah, I could do limericks like that. The ones with the girl from Nantucket. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dinah shows your leg a yard above your knee. I know that one.
Once was a girl from Nantucket.
That's about as far as we're going to go.
Do you remember what's the talent show? I think it was a Britain's Got Talent.
Was it America Got Talent?
No, I think it was Britain's because it was what's her name, the middle-aged frumpy woman.
Oh yeah, the
What was her name?
I can't. Yes, I know who you mean. The Scottish girl who.
Yeah. The first time I saw that was one of the coolest videos. Like that one got you right in the feels. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah,
When she walked out there and they were all kind of like, and then they showed the crowd, and the crowd's like, "Oh Lord, what's going to happen here?" That kind of thing. And
Boyle. There
and
you go.
Susan Boyle.
Nasty switch.
And
Yeah.
and Simon Cowell, who's a pretty straight shooter. I like the guy. I mean, he's a jerk, but he's right. You know what I mean?
But he's rich.
Yeah. I mean, 95% of the time he's right. He's got some of them wrong. People did well, and he said they wouldn't, but that's standard.
Yeah.
You don't get everything right, but he's usually pretty spot on with you don't have a chance, or all right, you have something, but you have to work, that kind of shit. But when she starts, and first she says what song she's going to sing, and they're like, oh, okay, and then she just that is one of the coolest TV moments, I think. That I always think of that, and every once in a while I go watch it again because it's just fun to see her like belt that out.
Yeah. Randall, you've got 1 out of 2, mate. So you've got 1 out of 2, buddy.
That's 2, isn't it? Oh, I thought you were looking at 8 Hussars.
Randall's got, but Yeah, you see, it's getting there now. It's getting there.
Yeah.
Right, that's 8 hussars. You've got 2 out of 3. Right, Randall, you've got now 2 out of 2. So it's all 5 answers I need.
5 or 4?
Was it 4? Sorry, 1,
was 4.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, sorry, 4.
Yeah.
4 answers.
Oh, Metal Lover Madness.
Oh.
Is he close?
He's got 1 out of 2.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so I've lost the questions. I didn't ask for a date, Randall.
I'm posting them, Randall or Eighth Hustler. You can see them right here. Look at my. I'm putting it in the message again. It's right there. Name of poet, where they were born, their name, where they were born, where the poem was first written down. That's a kind of a tricky one because it's not a physical where. It's a. I won't give any more hints, but.
Oh yeah, it's not. I can say as this much. It's not geographical location. It's a place.
Right. So it's not like a city. It's a. There's a.
Yeah, it's not like New York or something like that.
I mean, it was a city, but there was a specific place in the city that they did it.
Yeah, a specific place in the city.
And it was written on something.
It was.
That. Can I give a small hint? It was unusual.
It was unusual.
An unusual thing.
But it was to do with the place where it was written down.
Yep. A pub. Yeah, sir.
Yeah. On the back of a fag packet.
Yeah. You can't say that word.
Cigarette packet. Sorry, it's America. Yeah, sorry. In Britain, you see, this is confusing because in Britain, that's a cigarette packet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're gonna get banned by Twitch now.
I mean, in the U.S., if you say you smoke
yes,
that's a completely different thing.
Is it really? Okay, so I need to be very careful then, don't I?
Cancel.
To me, it's just
Cancel pilgrim.
cigarette.
I bet is that still a common word in England though?
Yeah, I mean up north it is.
Really?
In that respect, yeah.
But don't they also use the American slang word to?
No, not a great deal. No,
Really?
we've got better words than that. We've got proper Anglo-Saxon.
Oh,
words for that.
right.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Not a discussion point for this chapter.
No. Now, speaking of pubs and poetry, when you go up to Edinburgh,
Yes.
and you go to some of those pubs that those writers frequented, because that great writing tradition up in Scotland of these amazing writers and poets and stuff, you can sit in the same stalls where some of these guys hung out.
Oh yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, but they're all rebels, aren't they? So that's why you like them, you Americans. You like the jocks because they're all rebels, aren't they? All blue-faced, painted.
Oh, so
rebels.
just a minute ago you were talking about the great poetry and writing traditions of the U.S., but you got nothing for Scottish writers. Those they can saw it off as far as you're concerned.
No, all they wrote about was Wallace and Bannockburn and goodness, and the wee little moosey, micey, whatever it is. Oh god, get a grip, will you?
Artillery Buck says on the back of a Timmy Hortons donut bag. And haggis.
And haggis, yeah, exactly. Robbie Burns. I have never been so ill. I have never been so ill when I was allowed to go to the Highlanders Regiment's Burns supper as a Sassenach, as a Brit, as an Englishman, and I was allowed to go. And they have this thing called apple brose, which is cream and oats and whiskey, and they give it you in jars, and you pour it out and you like this. So I didn't know it was that potent, so I swigged about a jar and a half of this stuff before the meal started. Yeah, once you sit down at regimental dinner, you're not allowed to get up.
Yeah.
So you can't have a toilet break. That's for girls, apparently, in the British Army. So you're not allowed to get up. So I've had a jar and a half of this whiskey, cream, and oats. On top of the 5 or 6 beers I had at the bar before we sat down. And of course, the poem to the bloody haggis goes on for nearly 2 hours. And I'm like, there's this jock geezer in a kilt stood at the top of the table with his bagpiper behind him, and he's got this haggis on a silver platter, and he's going, and he's doing it for 2 hours, and my bladder is exploding. I turned physically green. and then had to pay £50 sterling to one of the waiters to get me a bottle so I could pee in it under the table.
Meanwhile, all the jocks already had one under there.
Exactly, they all got it free. This English geezer, make him pay.
All right, you got some more guesses. Let's see. We got.
Right, okay. Well, Randall, Randall, you've hit the nail on the head there. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, and the previous answer 4. You've got it, mate. Randall, you've got 500 gold. All you need to do is just let Guido know your in-game name, and I'll bang you 500 gold today, sir.
I think it's you, Randall, on game.
Well done, Randall. I'll give you the answers then. This is the reason why I wanted to read it out, because it's an American poet. Mary Elizabeth Fry was the American poet, and she was very little. She wasn't ever published, but she wrote some really emotional, stirring poems, and this is a particular one which made her, if you like, name, although she was never published with it. And exactly that, Mary Elizabeth Fry, she was born in Dayton, Ohio, and it was written on a brown paper bag in the florist shop where she worked. So cool, well done, good game. But yeah, a bit of culture from the United States of America, and all joking apart, you guys really have some phenomenal poets. You know, and some really good literary people out there. So yeah, good on you. Good on you.
G. Cool. Wyatt, Pilgrim. G. Wyatt.
Randall's, G. Wyatt.
Yeah,
okay,
Randall's,
let me just write that down. On the NA server, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you know what? I think that is pretty much it, Pilgrim. Unless you got any other parting shots for the guys, I want to thank everybody for coming by as always.
I've got one. I've got one before you go.
Okay.
Do you know that the Russians have a great sense of humour? I didn't know it until about 3 hours ago when I had a look on the Russian servers.
Okay. What happened?
Somebody on the Russian forums on World of Tanks put a question out on the forum. The question was, how do I cap when I'm in my artillery piece?
Oh, God.
LOL. Even better than that, the very first answer she got back was from one of the community contributors, developers, or whatever they call them over there, was, how about how not to ask stupid questions on the forum? Just love the Russians, don't you?
It is definitely a different world, that's for sure, man.
Indeed it is. Capping in an artillery piece. Off you go. Anyway, sorry, that's me done. I'll shut up.
So she never got an answer?
Well, eventually she did, but the very first answer was like, basically, just shut up, you silly thing. So, but everybody else came, yeah, use the Bert and have 2 very strong teammates either side of you.
Yeah. Good mess dinner stories. I'll tell mine real quick before we go. One of mine. So we had a big inspection that all the higher ups get very tightly wound about. And it's operational inspection, so you have to fly and do all the, do large force engagements, and you got to do check rides, and everyone's up in your chili, and they're checking your paperwork and all this crap. And this, in an American wing, it takes like a year to get ready for these stupid things. So we do all this, we get ready, we do it, we do well. So everyone has been working real, we've been at full sprint for about 4 months getting ready for this thing.
Right.
We do really well, and they're like, all right, we're going to do a dining in. A dining in for us is just the military members. A dining out is you bring the spouse and get all dressed up. You wear your mess dress and all that. But dining in, you wear your mess dress, but it's just the squadron or the wing. Well, this is for the pilots for the wing,
right? The
operations group. So we pile in. We do it in the hangar, and they hire out a joint around here called it's the Aussie joint, Outback. There's a restaurant called Outback, so. They're not Aussie; they're actually American, but it's it's supposed to be an Australian.
You get kangaroo steaks.
Yeah, you get yeah. So they bring in all their servers and stuff, and we go in there and we start eating. One of the traditions for the Air Force is eventually someone throws a roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then there's a bit of a roll fight, and sometimes it's kind of sedate, and sometimes it gets a little little worse. And always the head table, knock it off, haha, and whatever. Okay. And sometimes a roll comes out of the crowd and hits the head table or something. So we always have nice rolls for that. Well, everyone had been really tightly wound, and we started, pre-lubing with the alcohol before. So by the time we sat down, we were pretty well lubed. And all these servers start bringing stuff. We had steaks and potatoes and, asparagus or whatever, and lots of rolls.
Yeah.
Well, when the first roll got fired, it was already soaked in gravy and goes slinging straight at the head table. Like the first roll goes into the head table, and then the roll fight starts, and it quickly escalated into. I've never seen a food fight. You've seen Animal House where they food fight.
Yeah.
It was an actual food fight. Tables got upended.
No.
Full steaks. Steaks are flying. Potatoes.
Absolutely awesome.
So it was. I actually that mess dress was ruined. I actually threw it away. It couldn't be saved. It was destroyed. This is like a $300 piece of kit.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
So the metals and the metal stuff I could take off, but it was destroyed. I mean, it's just chaos. It's complete combat, and all that tension, poof, just exploded.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the head table, the generals, he is pissed. So he's yelling for like 5 minutes till finally everyone starts listening, and he's yelling at people. A couple more rolls fly and then stops.
Yeah.
And we're all everyone's kind of hiding, or people are standing, and there's just food dripping off of everybody's face. And the hangar had these double doors that went into the maintenance area, and the head table's right there. And so head table stands up and he starts left face, all his commanders left. He starts marching out, and the double doors open, and they're hunting through, and because he said, when we're going out, when we come back, I want this all put back together and cleaned up. So we're all kind of standing at attention, or whatever, like, oh man. But so he's the last one to go through, and as the door closes, it was like a movie. As the door closes, the entire place throws whatever they had to hand at the door.
Brilliant! Absolutely.
So as the door closes, it's like.
Brilliant. That's what dinner nights are for. That's what regimental dinner nights are about.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
It was absolutely legendary, and we got all the tables back.
And I bet you £1 to $1 that behind them doors that general was pissing himself.
That was our understanding from the squadron commanders. They're like,
absolutely.
He loved it, but he had to get control. And it's the servers were all from downtown. And they're 18-year-old kids and stuff. They were saucer-eyed. They faded off to the back where their stuff was, and they're just like,
is this how our military act? Oh my goodness.
It was
It
was one of the funniest damn. And then later that night, to top it off, they had brought a bunch of kids' trikes. One of the hey, we're gonna have trike races, so if you have one, bring it. Not a single kid's trike survived the night. We destroyed every trike was completely wheels just.
Oh dear. You see now the difference in the officers' mess, in the commissioned officers' mess, that's high spirits.
Mm-hmm.
In the warrant officers and sergeants' mess, the non-commissioned, that's thuggery. That's just pure thuggery.
I will never forget. That was the funniest thing I had ever seen.
Cool.
Anyway,
cool.
that's mine.
It's got to be there. You go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, thanks everybody for coming by. I really appreciate it. The subs, follows, all that stuff. Thanks again to Pilgrim for coming by. Obviously, every week. This is very enjoyable. I look forward to it every Sunday. So thanks for everybody coming by, and the new guys, man. The new guys who showed up, fantastic. Everybody, indeed, Metal Lover, have a good week.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good week. And I will be streaming a bit, so we'll see you then. That's all I've got from the left side of the Atlantic.
And that's all we've got from the correct side of the Atlantic.
See you guys later.